Hey guys, we're just getting out here in the shop. Got a couple new things here. Actually got a package in the mail for the Boost Knuckle, and we are going to open this up. This is probably going to turn into a install video here. So let's get this razor blade to work with me. I decided, since this is going to be a sort of race truck, it needed a sort of race truck shifter. I bought this off eBay. It was a open box shifter. They said it had some blemishes in it. Didn't really matter to me that much if it's got a couple scratches or something on it. Hopefully everything's on here. I actually bought it from Street Rays. I think they're out of Texas, I believe. But it's the Stealth Magnum Pro stick, but essentially this is what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's cool. So yeah, we're gonna end up making this an install video. I'm going to make a bracket and stuff to mount all this on, and then we are going to take the old shifter out of it and make a mount so we can mount, and I'm gonna try and make it a little easier to access whenever I'm strapped into the seat with the harness and stuff on. That one's kind of hard to reach. I got to reach out real far to grab it, and like I said, I had some troubles with it shifting through the gears too easy. The detent's not really noticeable in it, so it'll slide right through the gears if you're not careful, which actually the last time I had it out, the Streetcar Takeover, it kind of ruined the one run that I got because of that. So we're gonna get this all opened up here and see what all. See, and some of these didn't come with this, but this one's got it, so that's awesome. Hell yeah. We'll get this all laid out. That's all that. It's like it's got all the pins that hold the cover onto the shifter. This little red deal here, I believe, it screws onto the reverse. It's for the reverse lockout, and then obviously all the hardware and stuff to mount it, and then linkages and stuff for the different transmissions and stuff, and then 5 foot of shifter cable. So hopefully all this works out. But I don't know. From what I can tell, it looks like it's really never been opened. This maybe has. And this cable's got a couple little slices in it, but outside of that, I don't really see. Let's open this up. I don't really see anything. But I've actually had an idea. B&M makes some replacement pieces for the side of this shifter, and I think I'm going to order some. I won't show it to you just yet, obviously, but that'll be pretty cool. I think you'll like what I'm going to get for that. So anyways, I'm going to get this all kind of unboxed, check everything out, and see if I can find any blemishes on it, and then we'll start making them out to get it in the truck. Alright, so got everything out, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut me a piece of this, and I'll probably, I don't know, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. I may put some riv nuts in the bottom of this and then drill holes through this plate so I can just run a bolt up through the bottom of it to attach this to this piece here. And then I've got this round stock here, this round tube, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it, and I'll cut it at an angle. Weld it to the bottom of this. It should be pretty rigid. If not, I may bring this further back and then weld a gusset from the front to here and just kind of wire it off to add some rigidity to it. I'll know more once I get it kind of tacked together, and then this will go down, and then I'll make another plate that attaches it to the floor. just kind of however I see fit and whatever's most comfortable for my seating position and stuff. So I'm gonna get this cut, and I'm gonna round off some of these edges and stuff once I cut it. I'm gonna put it in the bandsaw, get that cut. I'll get some holes drilled, and then I'll know that, you know, I can mount that to it, and, you know, get a couple other pieces done. I actually got to get the truck jacked up, get it up in the air, and get this old shifter out. And this old shifter is a pain in the butt, so that's going to take me a few minutes to get all that unbolted from the transmission, because it's pretty weird little setup. It's a low car deal. So I'll get this up in the air, get that stuff cut, and then I'll get back with you just before I start welding all this together. Got that cut. Now round these edges off and drill some holes in it and get it ready to mount the shifter to it and start mocking up the round steel, and maybe getting that cut for the angle we want. So I got my round piece of tube cut, and I've got an angle on it. I measured the angle of the tunnel there, just trying to give me an idea where I was going to need to be to get the shifter somewhat the angle that I wanted from the floor there back, and then keeping the actual mount itself semi-flat. And I come up with about 20 degrees. So I cut 20-degree angle on it, and I'm going to go ahead and tack this, which is actually is already tacked, but I'm going to tack it in a couple other spots, and then once I get this out, I'll set my plate down there, and then I'll kind of see where I want to mount it, and then I'll actually probably tack it to that, and then kind of get a feel for where the shifter's going to be. And then if I don't like the angle, then I'll change the angle at the base and try and move it around and kind of get it where I want it, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so I got this welded up. Definitely not the best weld job ever, but it's going to get painted, so it'll be alright, and you'll never see it. So I'm going to get the old shifter out, and actually I got to get the truck up still, get the old shifter out, and we'll start mocking this up, see if we can get it mounted in the truck. Alright guys, so I got pretty much the whole makeshift shifter bracket made. Don't mind my non-fabricating skills. I do just bad enough work to get by. But anyways, here's the mount. You can tell that obviously this lower section I shaped to contour with the trans tunnel, and I mostly did that to try and help take some of the load off of a small area, and then I'm trying to semi-cover the hole where the old shifter went as well. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a couple holes here and here, and then here and here, and then that's probably going to be it. Actually, I'll probably try those 4. Hopefully that will keep this stiff enough so it doesn't, you know, pull and be all flimsy and stuff. And then I had to cut out, and I made a new plate to cover the pre-existing hole that was here for the shifter, so I'll seal all that in. But it, more or less, I guess worst case scenario, if I ever wanted to pull this shifter back out, I could, and then put the old shifter back in it and still have the original hole for it. But I'll get this all sanded, get this painted up, and then more than likely I'll probably end up sealing it up with some of this sound deadening and whatnot. But this piece here, basically what it's going to do, it's going to cover up some of that, which will be kind of weird. But it's not like you'll ever see it. The carpet and stuff will cover a lot of that up. But I'll get it all kind of mounted in there, mark my holes, drill some holes in the trans tunnel, and then I will put some riv nuts in it and make it to where I can bolt it and unbolt it if I need to. And then that'll pretty well be it. And then we can start running the cable. I'll have to drill a hole and try and figure out how I'm going to run the cable yet. So we'll get to that in just a few minutes after I get some holes drilled and some holes marked. So I got the plate all mounted and got it all sealed back in with some of the sound deadening and whatnot, and marked my holes, got those drilled. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill them bigger, and I'm actually going to put riv nuts in it, and then that shifter bracket will bolt on top of this. I'll probably actually put a couple washers underneath of it to raise it up off this lip here, you know, and keep it rigid, get it to where it doesn't want to like rock, or you know, it'll tighten up and be pretty even. So I'll probably try and put a washer that's about the same thickness as this plate to raise it up off of that, and then it should be good. So get the holes drilled a little bit bigger and put riv nuts in them. For those of you that don't know what a riv nut is, it's basically kind of what it sounds like. It's a rivet that basically is a nut. So basically you'll take this, put this in a blind hole, and then tighten it up, and then you've got a threaded hole, and you know, and all you pretty much did was just put a rivet in it, and then from there you can just put your bolts in it. They actually make washers for them, you know, to try and help the way they clamp, because it's like a rivet. You know, you try and drill a rivet out, it'll spin inside the metal, so you got to be careful. You can't really get really carried away with how much you tighten them. But I mean, as far as mounting things and hanging things, I mean, I use riv nuts for everything. It's, you know, I've used a bunch of them on the firewall for mounting, you know, like the fuel pressure regulator in this truck, and a bunch of other things. I use it all over my Civic and stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna get this rivet gun set up. Here's actually the manufacturer and the part number and stuff. If you're all interested in it, astrotools.com. Check them out. But I'm going to get this all set up for an 8mm riv nut, and I'll get this all set up in here. Alright, so I've got the shifter pretty well mounted. Don't mind my mismatched bolts, but I'm just basically going to show you kind of how it sits. So here it is, all mounted. All the riv nuts are in. I don't know, I mean, it's pretty sturdy. I can't imagine it need to be much sturdier than that. Worst case scenario, I could actually probably gusset this, put like a little gusset off to the side here, and try and add some rigidity to it that way. Who knows, I might actually try and do that, just because. Yeah, I might do that. So I don't know. I mean, I guess if I feel like it's too, like it moves around too much, then maybe I'll add it to it. But for now, maybe I'll just wait, get it all in the truck, see how I like it, drive it, see if I feel like it's too flimsy, and then if I feel like it is, then I'll add a gusset here, down here, and that'll add some rigidity side to side, and obviously every which direction too. It won't just be one bar. I was actually gonna think about adding a little gusset here too as well, just in case I get shifter happy when I'm banging gears. But anyways, that's it. So let's get this cable ran. I gotta drill a hole in the floor, run it through the floor, and then run the cable down to the trans, and I can try and make sure everything goes in the gear and all that how it needs to. So pretty much got the shifter all installed. You'll have to excuse the noise, the heater's on. I got a hole drilled in the floor, got the cable ran, and then hooked up to the linkage on the transmission. I'm pretty sure I've got it adjusted where it needs to be. I'm going to add a little bit more to this. I think I'm going to add some cup holders to this shifter bracket and stuff, since the truck doesn't have cup holders and I still drive it on the street. Here it is. Turned out pretty good. You can see where I drilled a hole through the floor. It's all bolted in. And then, see if you can see this. Probably not. But reach around here. I drilled a hole in the floor, and then I ended up putting a little piece of rubber hose on it to keep it from rubbing on the floor there and rattling and stuff. But one of these days I'm going to get a really nice carpet made for this, I don't know when that'll be because it's so damn expensive. But anyways, got it in, and you know, everything works like it's supposed to. I got to do a little bit of adjusting on this linkage because, like, when you go down in low gear and you bump it in a second, and then when you click into high gear, you're supposed to hold the trigger, and then when you release it, it's supposed to actually kind of bump back that, and it doesn't. So I think I maybe got the cable adjusted a little funny, or it's got a little too much tension on it somewhere, causing it to do that. Probably won't hurt anything other than just, you know, I want the shifter to operate exactly how it's supposed to. So, but yeah, it's all in there. It's all pretty sturdy, you know, all things considered. Like I said, I plan on putting cup holders on it, so I might put like a cup holder here and a cup holder here, and then I'll, you know, bring like a bar off with a couple pieces of, you know, round stainless or something like that, and then that'll be your cup holders. And then I'll probably actually put something off of it, and then the way I've got this set up, I can actually run it down here for a support, and it'll kind of double as a gusset, more or less. It's honestly, it's really sturdy. I mean, I'm moving this and you can see it move a little bit, but I'm like shaking the truck when I do it. But worst case scenario, I'll actually add a gusset just from like here to here, and that should add a bunch of rigidity to it and probably not move at all then. But for something that's just a bolt-in, you know, shifter bracket, it'll work really good. And then I plan on actually adding maybe a gusset in the back here and a little gusset in the front, just for good measure, and it'll look better. Look like so I put a little bit more thought into it, gusseting it up like that and stuff. So anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. Wasn't a very long one, but you know, I get these new parts for the truck and the car and stuff. I like to do some install videos with all that stuff. But anyways, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, keep following us on Instagram, Aquarium Racing, and we're gonna keep putting these videos together, and you guys keep watching, follow along, watch these things keep moving forward. See y'all later.